whatever. It was one of these fancy hardwood flooring.
You were in heaven,
listening.
weren't you?
I walked in and I was in heaven. I didn't know
when you were a
anything
little
about
kid,
this.
and there's certain stores. There's always a certain store that you're drawn to. When I was a kid, it was Playtime. Remember that store, Playtime?
No.
No, okay.
Sorry. I don't.
It's like a toy store, right? It's like, but you're like that with watches now.
I guess so. So I go and I look inside, and there's these watches with these fancy little gadgets on the glass underneath on the other side, and it's got all these little movements in it. A lot of work was put into it. Very nice finish. I say, well, that's a cute little thing. How much does that cost? And he says $40,000. And oh wow.
Yeah, that is a cute
and
little
it goes
thing.
up to 100,000, whatever. And the length song, it's like the the Rolls Royce of watches. And I said, well, why would someone spend that kind of money to tell the time? I said, well, it's the man's jewelry. It's what they wear, the clothing. But it has a function as opposed to a woman just wears the jewelry for the show that actually has a function. And I thought, well, that's wonderful. And I was thinking of James Bond, and where he beats up people, and cars turn over, and he's inside of it, and he managed to survive, and he leaps over cliffs, and there's not a dent on his Seamaster Ocean Omega watch. And I guess it just must be something amazing about watches that can withstand people.
You know, it's interesting. I just remember when I was a little kid, and like I got my first watch or whatever, and it said, you'd see in the old days, now everything's digital, but in the old days they had 7 jewels. Remember?
Yeah,
Remember
I think
when they would say like they have 7 jewels or whatever?
Right.
And I think, well, what are the jewels? Like, what is there? A diamond and a ruby and a emerald and a sapphire in there?
Well, that's 4, yeah.
Well, and then
They'd be
whatever.
like,
But I would want to take the watch apart and find those jewels.
And that's what the Dalai Lama was into doing. Apparently he's into, it's true, he apparently takes apart Rolex watches that people offer as gifts to him, takes it apart and tries to put it back together again. He's not into owning just to own it. Yeah, I guess there's some
sense of accomplishment
some surreal spiritual thing about it, which I can't connect with yet. You know, man trying to improve something, working with gadgets and mechanisms, and his versions of nanotechnology, perhaps, which goes into was it metaphysics and whatever. We can go on forever on that topic.
The gray goo.
Yeah. Maybe. But I wanted to just jump ahead to one thing.
Yes.
I'm approaching IWC Company because I got interested in watches, which is International Watch Company, started by an American way back in the turn of the century, but it's carried through in East Switzerland. Beautiful watches between mass production and individual work. And they made this beautiful, gigantic book that's, for the coffee table. Coffee table book about the history of the Schaffhausen and the watch industry. And they had Pablo Coelho, who wrote The Alchemist, who writes a bunch of little stories related to watches in the book. And it's in German right now, but it's supposed to be such a beautiful book. It's worth buying anyways. But I think hopefully they'll be trying to transfer it into English. I hope to interview them on my show. We're talking with communications people over there and see if we have a few further discussions with them about that. Because I've just been enthralled about watches. I think other people will too. There's so many sites related to watches.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that you're so excited. I mean, you know that watches tells the time, but I don't know.
I think watches are more than just telling the time. I think maybe you were saying earlier about men and watches, and I think men are very good at buying status symbol toys.
Very much so.
And there's only a few they can have. So watches is one, right?
Yeah.
Cars is another. I think watches are really nice. I mean,
they relate it to cars, actually. You know, that's
I'm sure there is a link
somehow,
there. Yeah. But I know when I go by a jewelry store, for example, like at Yorkdale or wherever, and the first thing that attracts my eye is not the watch, although I do like nice watches. The first thing that I'm always attracted to is like diamond rings, or whatever, nice pieces of jewelry. I'm not so much I wouldn't go first to the watch, where I think men really are attracted to the watch first.
There's a good jewelry store over in the atrium. You should go check it out.
Are you going to take me shopping there?
Yeah.
Ugly building, though.
I just came from over there from before.
No, there's a really nice, they do really custom stuff. And
Really?
they do ancient Roman glass and stuff like that.
I like
really cool stuff that's like art. It's like It's where art meets jewelry.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
But just so you guys know, women don't like to buy themselves jewelry.
Right.
Typically.
I know.
Okay. I just want to add this. I just about to buy. This is my dream watch, which I may never get, which is by the Schaffhausen Group, which I might, if I have enough shows with them, they may give it to me. Who knows? Maybe not. But then there's this watch that I just about to retrieve, which is part of Bulova. It goes by another name, but they have the same movement inside, but it's made by the ETA Group, which just makes movements. They don't make watches; they make the movements.
Is that Tag Heuer?
They make maybe for Tag and a whole bunch of other companies.
They're like the Magna of the watch industry.
That's right. They make the movements inside, which are intricate, but they got the machinery, they got the parts, and by economies of scale, they can make a whole bunch of these movements. The watch companies like the one you just mentioned, Tiffany's, buys from them and puts it into the beautiful casing that they've already made, and it's still their own because they manipulate it a little bit, but it's a movement from ETA. So I found from Bulova a watch that's been discontinued, which was $900, with a movement that's for watches around $5,000 in this watch. So I put money down on picking it up for $450, which sounds like a lot of money, but I just put it on the credit card, pay it off by next month, and I'm okay.
And you're going to have like a $5,000 watch for a very good price.
$450.
Yeah, and it tells great time.
Yeah, stop it. You know what? A Casio watch probably tells better time for $40.
You know what kills me? A guy can do this and rationalize it, and it's perfectly fine. But if your wife came home and pulled that same scheme, you'd be screaming at her for spending the money.
Well, I'll tell you something. There's someone that I like, and she's in another country right now. It's from France and Israel. And if it ever, it may not, but if it ever got serious, if she even found out that like she's cleaning up the room or something, and we're married, and finds out belatedly that I have a couple of watches worth a few $1,000s, she'll say, "What's this?" And then, so just that, sell it. I don't think I'll get to keep it, but it was nice while I had it.
But you see the thinking? It's all in the attitude, right?
Yeah.
Difference in attitude.
Yeah.
That's right.
I just want to say one thing before we're about to close out. There is, I just want to put a plug for our co-op Shiatsu group at earthshiatsu.com. I don't know if Blue can throw it on there. We can put that up
maybe in the break.
In the break? Oh, yeah. If she can put it on during the break. earthshiatsu.com. The 3 W's, and then people can reach me at danielsyoga@gmail.com. That's with an S. danielsyoga@gmail.com. That's with an S at the end of it.
Perfect.
So,
and also you do a show here on that channel.
Pardon me?
Tell people about your next
my show. Check my show out, Dantown, on the 4th Wednesday of the month, which is the 28th, next week. Yeah.
And you got
Sean Buckley, who's constitutional law from Kamloops, BC, who's also the president of the Food Products Protections Association, to help with fighting. He knows how to get into the governments and fight the laws,
Codex.
like Bill 51, to stop from those nice health products being eliminated.
And giving the government police powers to come in and
and also
take away your business. And put a gun to your head. In jail.
I just want to finish with this. Apparently, Health Canada is offering concessions to the rules they previously made because there's been a bit of
there's going to be more of an uproar.
But he's saying don't even go by the concession because they're using they're putting it into a drug model. Their drug model, the food model, which
Salami
doesn't
technique.
fit.
So that's going to be on your show a week from this Thursday at 7. No,
Wednesday.
Wednesday night.
That part will be 7:30, and I'll have mystery guests at 7. I hope. Yes.
Great. Thank you, Daniel.
Okay. So am I getting my shiatsu?
Okay, you guys can do that during the break. We're going to take a quick break. We're coming back with Howard Jerome Gomberg. And who's running for mayor of Toronto. So we're going to talk to him right after this as Liquid Lunch continues here at thatchannel.com.
That's just not what we are. We do it so